Namaste. Hello and welcome. Today's topic is about introduction to UPSC CAPF. The session is conducted by me. I am Abhanga Dilip Joshi. So, in this session, we'll be able to know what exactly UPSC CAPF is. Okay, most of the student already know what UPSC is. Okay, the question about CAPF and everything related to it, well, mostly related to it, will be covered in this session. First of all, about me, I am Abhanga Dilip Joshi. I am Assistant Commandant of 2018 batch with All India Rank 47. My first choice was ITBP, and that is what I have been allotted. Okay. Any significant achievement of mine would be I am All India topper in paper 2 of UPSC CAPF 2018. So, when we learn about the exam pattern of UPSC CAPF exam, that time I'll tell you what paper 1 is, what paper 2 is, and in that paper 2 I'm All India topper. One of the most significant achievement of mine would be studying at Chanakya Mandal Parivar in 2016 batch of UPSC Comprehensive. Okay, so let's just begin with the session. So most of the students that have asked me have common queries like what is CAPF, what exactly is CAPF. So as most of the students already know, CAPF means Central Armed Police Forces. Okay, so Central Armed Police Forces is the full form of the acronym, that is CAPF. So under CAPF, which forces come? Under CAPF comes the biggest one, that is CRPF. The second biggest is BSF, then CISF, then SSB, and the last one is ITBP. Okay, so these five forces constitute the CAPF. CAPF, which is also known as paramilitary. There are some differences, but generally CAPF is what is known by paramilitary. Okay, so there is defense services. Okay, which are under Ministry of Defense. Which are those are Air Force, Navy, Army, and Coast Guard, right? And these CAPF are under Ministry of Home Affairs. So do you understand the difference? CAPF comes under Ministry of Home Affairs. Armed forces means Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and Army comes under Ministry of Defense. Okay, the CAPF is an umbrella. Okay, CAPF means an umbrella. There are 5 branches of CAPF. Which are 5 branches of CAPF? As I have already told, CRPF, BSF, CISF, SSB, and ITBP. So let's just start with a basic introduction of what each force does. Okay, so first is CRPF. Everybody has heard about CRPF, right? CRPF means Central Reserved Police Force. It is the biggest paramilitary force. Okay, what CRPF does? CRPF works for the internal security of India. So it also helps in law and order situations of internal India. Okay, so this works within the border. So it is involved in Chhattisgarh also, in the Cobra Commandos. Cobra is a branch of CRPF which works in anti-Naxal operations. Then there is a Rapid Action Force in case of riots. Then there is PDG, then there is SDG. So CRPF is basically situated within the country. Okay. Then comes BSF. Everyone knows BSF, right? Wagah border, Atari border. So BSF is entrusted with the task of protecting 2 borders. Which are those 2 borders? First is India's border with Pakistan. The second is India's border with our eastern neighbor, that is Bangladesh. So BSF has twofold task: protecting the border with respect to Pakistan and with respect to Bangladesh. Okay, apart from that, BSF is also involved, like CRPF is, in the peacekeeping within the nation. Okay, so it is also deployed in anti-Naxal operations, in also I'm sorry, in elections also. Okay, they have to protect certain areas which are under militancy. Then there is CISF. CISF is the most sought after service. Why? I'll tell you. CISF is Central Industrial Security Force. Central Industrial Security Force. Okay. So where are the industries situated? Mostly in the metro areas, right? So when we become part of CISF, when one becomes part of CISF, he automatically gets to live in metro areas. But this is not always true, right? Because CISF also protects certain installations such as Damodar Valley Corporation. Okay, DVC. Have you heard about DVC? Please search on Google. DVC, then Cognizant, then Bhabha Atomic Research, then UPSC is also protected by CISF. All the important locations such as atomic power plants or bigger thermal power plants, or we can say dams, big industries, share market, stock market, which need proper security, are protected by CISF. Am I clear? Then the fourth one is SSB. What does SSB means? SSB mean Sashastra Seema Bal. Yeah. So what is the job of Sashastra Seema Bal? Sashastra Seema Bal protects two borders. Again, which two borders are protected by Sashastra Seema Bal? First is Nepal border. The second is Bhutan border. So BSF protects two borders, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Sashastra Seema Bal protects Nepal and Bhutan border, right? Okay. The last one is ITBP. So what does ITBP do? So first, it will be cleared by the name. If we learn the full form of ITBP, we will understand which border it protects. Okay, ITBP means Indo-Tibetan Border Police. So India's border with Tibet, India's border with China is protected by ITBP. Am I clear? So let's just move ahead. Now you have a question, right? Okay, I know what CAPF means, but what does assistant commandant mean? What is his job? What does he do? Okay, so assistant commandant is a directly appointed gazetted officer. Have you heard the term DAGO? DAGO is used in armed forces, directly appointed gazetted officer. So this is the highest post which can be filled up directly in paramilitary forces. The forces above assistant commandant are filled via deputation or via promotion. So recruitment is for recruitment. This is the last post. Above this post, you have to go through promotion or through deputation. Okay. It's a class 1, not just class 1, is a gazetted class 1. So in layman's terms, it is known as super class 1 post. Okay. When we compare it to state police force, it is equivalent to DYSP or ACP. Okay, so when it comes to ranking, it is equivalent to DYSP and ACP, but the promotion rate in the forces, like one who becomes assistant commandant gets promoted faster when it comes to DYSP. Okay, because DYSP has a competition with IPS, right? So he doesn't get that much fastly promoted. Okay, but as ACP or as assistant commandant is directly recruited, and no post is directly recruited above him, he gets promotion very fast. Let's just start with the exam pattern. Okay, so first of all, learning something about the exam, we know that it is conducted every year in month of August. So maybe this month, this year, the exam will get postponed. Why? Because of COVID-19. Okay. So let me tell you the vacancies of each year. So in 2017, which was my first attempt, the vacancies were 154. In 2018, the vacancies were 466. And in 2019, the vacancies were 323. So there is a very large fluctuation in vacancies. Okay, one has to understand the procedure is very hard. The process of the whole exam is hard, and the vacancies also gets fluctuated. Okay, so if you are truly willing to don the uniform, you must understand all this, that the vacancies might not be as large as compared to last year. Okay. The biggest question now is, what do we have to do to crack this examination, right? So first of all, let's start with the exam pattern. The exam is conducted in 3 stages. One can say 4 stages, but let's just say 3 stages. First stage is written exam. The written exam is conducted in single day. That's it. After written exam is done, the result of this written exam is published by UPSC. Then those who have cleared the written exam will be asked to come for physical test. In that physical test, there is a physical test on first day, and those who have qualified the physical test have to give the medical test on the second day. Okay, so these 2 stages. After completing these 2 stages, the third stage comes, that is personality test or interview. This is conducted by the same panel of CSC. So UPSC conducts the personality test, which is of 150 marks. Okay, so let's just start with written exam. Okay, so in written exam there is paper 1. Paper 1 is of 250 marks. 2 hours, 250 marks. The questions are on the same line as that of CSC prelims. Okay, a little bit of variation is there because here you get questions based on defense. Okay, you get questions based on current affairs like awards and like Nobel Prize and all. Okay, these questions generally don't appear in CSC, but these questions appear in CAPF. Okay, so paper 1 tests the general ability and intelligence of the candidates and is based on the multiple choice question format. Remember, paper 1 is multiple choice question. Okay, 125 questions, 2 hours, 250 marks. The general syllabus is that of CSC prelims. One has to cover general mental ability, except for general mental ability, everything is same as CSC prelims. Okay, general mental ability means quantitative aptitude and logical reasoning. Okay, you have to prepare separately for that. It is asked in UPSC CAPF but not in CSC. Okay, understand the difference. Then general science, history, geography, polity, economics, all these subjects are asked in CSC prelims also, right? So one who has prepared for CSC prelims will find it easier to prepare for CSC, CAPF also. Only he has to concentrate more on general mental ability, that is aptitude and reasoning. Then comes paper 2. So what is paper 2? Paper 2 is a descriptive type of question. Okay, on the first day itself you have to write an objective type of paper and a descriptive type of paper. So once your paper 1 is done, you have to write paper 2, which is descriptive. This paper 2 contains 200 marks. Okay, 200 marks in 3 hours. One has to write 4 essays, 2 arguments, 1 précis, 1 comprehension, 1 grammar, and one question on grammar, that is of 15 marks, and 2 reports. Okay, so 4 essays have 20 marks. 20 into 4 makes it 80 marks for essays. Arguments for 20 marks each means again 40 marks for argument. Précis of 15 marks. Précis means in Marathi it is known as Saransha Lekhan. It is in Hindi it is also known as Saransha Lekhan. Okay, so précis of 15 marks. Comprehension means passage based question. Okay, those are again for 20 marks. Grammar is of 25 marks. Beg your pardon. And report, there are 2 reports, 10 marks each. Okay, 20 marks for reports. That's it. So one has to qualify for paper 1 as well as paper 2 to get into the list of written exam. Once you get into the list of written exam, they will call you for physical efficiency test. Let me resize this camera. Okay. So in physical efficiency test, it is generally after say 1 or 2 months of publication of written exams result. Okay, so for male there is a separate criteria, for female there is a separate criteria for physical efficiency test. Okay, there is also a physical standard test in which they check your height, weight, etc. In physical efficiency test, most of the guys gets eliminated because of sedentary structure of CSC exams preparation, right? No one has time to go for jogging, running, etc. So what are the criteria for physical efficiency test? The first one is 100 meters race. 100 meters race has to be completed by male candidate in 16 seconds, while the female has to complete that race in 18 seconds. Okay. Then there is 1800 meter race. Okay. So in 1800, male has to complete it within 3 minutes and 45 seconds, while female have to complete it within 4 minutes and 45 seconds. So it's a big time span for one to complete the 800 meter compared to PSI. In Maharashtra PSI, one has only 2.5 minutes to complete the 800 meters, right? Okay, here you get 3 minutes and 45 seconds for male candidate, and for female 1 minute more. So that is a big time span that one can have for running. After that, there is long jump, in which most of the candidates get eliminated. It is of 3.5 meters and you get 3 chances. For women it is 3 meters, again 3 chances. Shot put means gola fake. The gola fake is of 4.5 meters and it is only for male. Remember, gola fake is not for female candidates. After one more thing that I have to share with you is physical test has 0 marks. One has to only qualify the physical test. Understood? In PSI exams or any other exams, the physical test carries marks. Okay, there are 0 marks allotted to physical efficiency test in CAPF. Okay, I'm repeating it again and again so that you understand. The beginners need to know. You have to just qualify. If you qualify in all those criteria given on your screen, you will qualify the physical efficiency test. That's it. After that, they will call you for personality test. That means interview. Interview is taken by UPSC itself. There are 4 panel members, including the chairman, and the interview will largely based on what you have given in your DAF. DAF is like your performer or what your CV. Okay, detailed application form. You have to fill it before physical test, and in that DAF, whatever you have written, they will ask mostly the question on that, and some current affair question or some related to what preference you have put in your attempt of CAPF, right? So this is the whole procedure. Understood? Written exam, 2 papers, then physical exam, then on the next day of physical exam there is a medical exam, and after that there is a personality test. That's it. This is the whole procedure of CAPF. Now, I think this session has solved many doubts regarding CAPF and what exactly is there and what does CAPF mean, what forces come under CAPF, what is the procedure, what is the exam pattern, right? Still, there are many questions related to job profile of assistant commandant. So I like to tell you that the job profile of assistant commandant is very different in each of the forces. Okay, the job profile of assistant commandant in CISF, which protects, say, airports, is completely different from the job profile of a BSF assistant commandant who is situated at the border, right? So it depends on which force you want to join, the job profile will vary accordingly. Understood? Personally, I have preferred ITBP because of the adventurous nature of job, plus the location is quite beautiful. The ITBP is located under China border, like on the China border. So the states that I'll be serving is Uttarakhand, Ladakh, then Himachal Pradesh, then there is Sikkim, there is Arunachal Pradesh. So all the states have Himalayas. That's why I preferred ITBP. Not just that, I'm fond of mountaineering and trekking. That's why I went for ITBP. So one has to know what he likes most. Again, swatch you work. Okay, so you have to know what you like. That's so that you can opt for the preferences. There are many friends of mine who studied at Chanakya and preferred BSF as their first choice, CRPF as their first choice, CISF as their first choice, SSB as their first choice. Okay, so it depends on what suits your personality. So first of all, know yourself, and after that opt for CAPF if you really want to don the uniform. Okay, those who are interested in uniform jobs must at least give the attempt of CAPF, right? When it is done, you will understand that the procedure is quite friendly and one has ample time to prepare for CSC as well. Those who want to do CSC as well as CAPF. Okay, after that, those who want to join the armed forces like me will not opt for CSC, will go for CAPF directly. Okay, so you get to have chances of choosing which path you want to go. Okay, I hope that this session was quite interesting to you and you have enjoyed it a lot. I guess I'll be making more videos. Depends on the input. Let me give you some of the view of what my job profile will be. Okay, so this is the official page of ITBP. Can you see the location? It is how beautiful the location is. Okay, these are known as ITBP soldiers or Himveers, HIMVEERS, Himveers. Okay, so just because of this location, it is one of the major factor that I chose ITBP. Okay, plus the situation is hard, the terrain is hard, so it's an adventurous job. Second photo will be of ITBP. It is the photo is from Sikkim frontier of ITBP. Okay, so look, this is the group center in Sikkim. How beautiful it is, right? The third photo is of. Can you guess the location? It's in Uttarakhand, somewhere in Uttarakhand. Okay, to be precise, it is the base camp of Nanda Devi. Okay, so this is it. This is how the ITBP works. For those who are interested in other forces, can follow their Instagram pages and get to know more about the forces. Okay, this was just an introductory video for you to understand what CAPF exactly is. Thank you. Bye bye.
Presenting Chanakya Mandal Parivar's online platform, chanakyamandalonline.in, enabling you to study from the comfort of your home from the best educators like our founder director Dharmadhikari sir and other expert faculty members. Thousands of MCQs for practice, mock test of UPSC MPSC standards to build your confidence levels. All these hundreds of hours of videos, question banks and notes now are available only at rupees 10,000. Yes, you heard it right. Only rupees 10,000 if you register before 10th of May. And for MPSC, perhaps this is the only full video course available anywhere. So don't wait, follow the process given on the screen and kickstart your journey with confidence. Enroll now, stay home, stay safe, happy learning.